The film begins in a large storage facility at the edge of town. Many young women are taken there and held captive. Afterwards, a powerful criminal group in China sells them for money and their body parts. Wu Gei, a high-ranking member of the gang, talks with two old customers from Mexico, Carlos and Diego. They hear rumors that their boss might run for parliament. If it's true, they hope Wu Gei will become the gang's next leader because they believe he's the reason for the group's success was because of his hard work and ideas. However, Wu Gei doesn't seem to be too concerned about it because he'll always follow his uncle's orders as the boss. Inside their main building, Hong Tae discusses matters with one of his trusted associates named Ao Walong. He suggests they should focus on legal businesses like finance, real estate, and health immediately. This is especially important now that Hong Tae is a popular candidate for the elections. Ao Walong also thinks they should resolve their dealings with Carlos to prevent any future problems that could harm their reputation. Hong Tae understands his concerns well. In fact, he plans to appoint Ao Walong as the new leader of the group tomorrow. When Ao Walong returns home, he quietly celebrates because he's going to become the new leader of the gang tomorrow. But suddenly, the power in his house goes out and someone enters to kill him. Outside the police station, a group of people is protesting against the slow progress of the police and prosecutors in solving missing persons cases that have remained unsolved for years. The chief prosecutor, Lo, instructs a corrupt police officer named Lung when to swiftly address this issue to prevent negative effects on Hong Tae's election campaign, as there are incriminating photos of him at the demonstrations. That night, Lung Wen and some of his team immediately head to the place where they believe the mastermind is behind the protests live. Lung Wen then declares the case is closed and labels them troublemakers for disrupting police operations. He gives them 3 days to leave the country or face consequences similar to those he threatens to burn. Meanwhile, Chan Mun is woken up by his younger sister, Chan Lei, after having a nightmare. She asks him to make her breakfast as she is very hungry. During breakfast, Chan Mun hears on the news that Hong Tae will step down as the company's leader to focus on his election campaign. Later that day, Hong Tae will announce the appointment of a new leader to continue running the company. After getting ready, Chan Mun decided to go where Hong Tae was. His younger sister, Chan Lei, tried to stop him, but Chan Mun reassured her that everything would be fine. It turns out Hong Tae went to the temple with his trusted assistants, Ma Wenkun and Kwon Chun, with his daughter, Shay Li, was also present. While Hong Tae and some of the top officials of the Hong Tae group were performing a ceremony at the temple, Lung Wen, who happened to be on duty there, noticed someone suspicious intending to enter. However, Miss stopped Lung Wen from entering as he saw corrupt police officers as no more than dogs who always lick when their boss is at the top. Unhappy with such words, Lung Wen then hit Ma, and a confrontation ensued between them. Shortly after, when Ma heard about Ao Walong's death, he went to inform his boss. Hearing this, Hong Tae was surprised to learn that his successor had been killed in his own home and gave Lo 24 hours to immediately locate the whereabouts of the killer, dead or alive. Hong Tae then left the location, followed by all his subordinates. Chan Nun, who had been watching him, followed him too. At the same time, Lung Wen, who was suspicious of the car following Hong Tae's group, also followed the car. Not long after, the bomb planted by Chan Nun in one of the escort vehicles went off, causing chaos among Hong Tae's guards. Chan Nun then broke through the car blockade and started attacking the guards one by one. As the result, Chan Mun managed to escape, although Lung Wen attempted to chase him, while Hong Tae was taken to the hospital in critical condition due to the incident. At the police station, this incident prompted an emergency investigation by the officers paid by Hong Tae to find out who was behind the incident. They also obtained clear CCTV footage of Chan Nun at the scene. Lung Wen suspected that the attacker wasn't just anyone and might be a professional hired assassin familiar with the Hong Tae group's situation. Lo then ordered Lung Wen to find and arrest the perpetrator before the Hong Tae group members found Chan Nun, aiming to secure a favorable position within the group. After treating Hong Tae's condition, the doctor leading the operation said Hong Tae was much better, though he had a minor head injury from the impact. Director Lo then showed them the attacker's face who hurt Hong Tae and killed Ao Walong. He thought that the attacker was a professional hired to harm the Hong Tae group, and only someone within the group would dare to do it. This caused accusations among the top executives, with Wang blamed Wu Ge because he knew Wu Ge was doing business with the Carlos brothers secretly and wanted to be the next leader of the Hong Tae group. But Kwon Chun calmed the dispute, saying they should focus on catching the attacker first. He then discussed with Ma, who might be behind it all, and told Ma to find the attacker before others caught him, to know who had hired him. Without hesitation, Ma agreed and decided to work alone. At the same time, Chan Moon, who ran illegal drug businesses, later discovered by Lung Wen through CCTV at Wang's place. Chan Nun remained calm during Wang's interrogation, even though Wang suspected he had come to kill him. Wang demanded to know who hired Chan Nun, giving him the choice to die slowly or face torture. Suddenly, the power went out and Chan Nun immediately killed everyone present. Ma and Lung Wen, who arrived later, were shocked to find Chan Nun had slaughtered everyone. They couldn't find Chan Nun or Wang, who had disappeared. When Wu Ge returned home, he learned Wang had disappeared and Ma was alone without any protection. Wu Ge wondered if Hong Tae orchestrated everything to eliminate the top executives and take over their businesses they had run. On the other hand, Ma called Kwon Chun and told him that Wang had disappeared, suggesting they might be the next targets. Ma suspected Wu Ge was behind it all and wanted to negotiate with the Carlos brothers to gain their support. Though close to Wu Ge, the Carlos brothers were businessmen and might switch sides for a better offer. At that time, Wu Ge was at the Carlos brothers' place, revealing his plan to kill Hong Tae that night, while pretending to be at the hospital to avoid suspicion. Wu Ge aimed to turn the Hong Tae group into a legitimate business by eliminating anyone involved in illegal activities, securing his position in the government. After killing the top executives, he planned to target Ma and the Carlos brothers to erase their past connections. Unaware, Ma contacted the Carlos brothers, who realized Wu Ge's deception and plotted to kill Hong Tae and Ma that night. Shortly after, Wu Ge and his men were at the hospital planning to kill Hong Tae, but Kwon Chun and Hong Tae were waiting for their arrival. Ma, who had also arrived at the warehouse with the Carlos brothers, had prepared themselves for the impending confrontation. Kwon Chun managed to fatally wound Wu Ge and reminiscing about their past as a close-knit family with Hong Tae. Surrounded by Carlos and his men, Lung Wen and his team arrived, rescuing Kwon Chun and apprehending Carlos and his gang. Meanwhile, Wu Ge's phone rang, revealing Chan Un on the other end, informing Hong Tae that his daughter was with him. Hong Tae pleaded with Chan Un to release his daughter, offering anything in return. However, Chan Un only desired his daughter's heart. He then freed Shay Li's hands so she could eat the food he prepared, but Shay Li felt uneasy about the situation and Chan Un's true identity. Chan Un explained that he and his little sister, Chan Lei, grew up without their parents, who died in an accident. Despite this, they cared for each other. When Chan Lei wanted to buy her brother a new motorcycle, she participated in a blood donation drive to earn money, as their savings weren't enough. Chan Un was overjoyed and surprised by his younger sister. He hoped to work even harder to fulfill her dream of becoming a nurse, so she could care for him in his old age. However, his happiness was shattered when his sister was kidnapped one night while returning from work. Desperate to find her, Chan Un tracked the kidnappers to a warehouse where he discovered the top executives of the Hong Tae group, including the Carlos brothers. It was revealed that Chan Lei's blood donation had been used to match her heart for transplantation into Shay Li, Hong Tae's daughter. Chan Un felt powerless to save his sister and nearly lost his life in the process. For the past 8 years, he had been investigating the Hong Tae organization, discovering that his sister was not the only victim of their crimes. He also learning that drug and human trafficking, as well as the illegal sale of organs, had fueled Hong Tae's wealth. After that, the only thing he could do was take revenge and seek justice for his little sister. Not long after, Chen surrendering himself at the police station, despite being the most wanted criminal at the time. It was evident that Carlos had been freed from prison by someone on the inside. Long Wen then questioned Chan Nun about his affiliations, but Chan Nun refused to cooperate with some low-ranking officer like him and claiming to work for someone behind the scenes. This angered Long Wen, who resorted to violence during the interrogation. Lo intervened to calm his subordinates' emotions and took over the interrogation. However, Chan Nun managed to borrow Lo's phone and showed a video of woman that being tortured, shocking Lo. To prevent the video from going public, Chan Nun demanded to be taken to his house. Shortly after, they both arrived at Chan Mun's house, where it became clear that Chan Nun had set up a trap to pit Lo and Wang against each other, with Wang actually being held captive by Chan Nun. Shortly after, Hong Tae and Kwon Chun, along with Ma and his men, reached Chan Mun's house to confront him and rescue Shaylee. However, they found only Lo and Wang dead. At that moment, Lo's phone rang, connecting to Chan Nun, who revealed that Shaylee was at the pier with Carlos. Meanwhile, Carlos, at his headquarters, received a call from Chan Mun warning that Hong Tae was coming to attack. Angry, Carlos ordered his men to fight Hong Tae's group, while Chan Nun watched from above as the battle unfolded. When Hong Tae arrived, a fierce fight broke out between the two groups. Hong Tae, upon seeing Chan Mun, attempted to locate him but was surprised to find Chan Mun, Ma, and Long Wen together. Their shared past was revealed when Ma had been childhood friends with Chan Mun and Chan Lei when they were at the orphanage. They had grown up together, and when they became adults, Chan Mun acted as their elder brother. However, Chan Lei's death, manipulated by Lo to appear as a traffic accident, had deeply hurt and angered them. Before her death, Chan Lei had written a will to donate her heart to someone in need, which angered Chan Nun as it didn't align with what actually happened. This revelation led to them being apprehended by police at the scene. Long Wen then met them both and revealed that he used to be an honest policeman. His mentor had strong evidence implicating Hong Tae and Lo. Before his mentor's death in an accident, he entrusted Long Wen with the task of uncovering the case. Upon seeing news of his boss's death, Long Wen suspected Lo's involvement and decided to gain his trust by giving him the evidence. Long Wen then proposed working together with Chan Nun and Ma to solve the case, which he couldn't do alone. They realized Chan Lei wasn't the only victim, and Hong Tae wasn't the only culprit. The corruption extended to the police, prosecutors, businessmen, and government officials. Knowing the risks, they agreed to take on the challenge to clean up the city and seek justice for Chan Lei and others. They pledged to forsake their dignity, pain, and everything else until they succeeded. Their strategy unfolded as planned, causing internal conflict within the Hong Tae group. Upon discovering that Hong Tae intended to step down from leadership, Ma, who had gained Hong Tae's trust and was aware of the group's internal issues, initiated the plan by eliminating Ah Wallong, the prospective leader. They framed it as if Wu Gei had hired a hitman to eliminate him, helping Wu Gei's to become the next leader, which was known within the group. At the same time, a series of orchestrated incidents fueled conflict within the Hong Tae group. When Hong Tae learned the truth, he pleaded for punishment to be inflicted solely on him and requested the release of his daughter. However, Chan Mun rejected his plea and instead handed him a box containing his daughter's heart as a form of his vengeance. Although Ma intended to kill Hong Tae, Long Wen intervened, revealing evidence of his crimes and asserting that none of them could escape justice. As they prepared to depart, they stumbled upon a group of women imprisoned in cages. Their plans shifted as they prioritized rescuing the women, especially upon seeing Kwon Chun and his men surviving the confrontation with Carlos. Long Wen then attempted to prevent the cages from sinking, saving the women kidnapped by Carlos. Meanwhile, Ma and Kwon Chun engaged in a deadly confrontation, resulting in Ma's demise. Not long after, the police arrived, apprehending all survivors and those involved in the incident. Hong Tae was fatally shot by the police when he attempted to attack Chan Nun, who was trying to rescue Ma. In the film's conclusion, Shaylee, still alive, is showing in Chan Nun's sunflower garden. Meanwhile, Long Wen and Chan Mun are brought to court to face consequences for their actions, receiving support and gratitude from families seeking justice for their losses. Moral lesson from the story: plotting against others can backfire, leaving you caught in your own web of deceit. So, before setting a trap for someone else, make sure you're not the one who gets snared in the end.